Dude, are you forever wilding?
So
It's a conspiracy.
So a girl told me, "Are you forever wilding, or are you just like are you sponsoring them?" So I told her I am, and she's very upset because she told me answer on that account, and I said I can't. I don't respond to memes. I don't respond to it. I don't respond to people on that account. So she's actually confused. She thinks I'm forever wilding, and too many mixed reactions. So once in a while, I actually get a girl who says, "Fuck you!" Like, who the hell do you think you are? I'm like, don't like. What do you want from me? But
whatever you're doing is right. Because if you're getting people angry and you're getting people to laugh at the memes, that's the whole point of shit posting, you know?
I mean, I'm posting like Gemini content all day long, and people are still angry at me.
Yo, I need some like history.
Okay, so Daniel is an Instagram legend. You know Hoodville?
Yeah, of course Hoodville.
So Daniel makes Hoodville look like a very...
No, it's not like I'm making the memes. The problem is, since I do it so consistently, people, like, I'm synonymous with that now. So when people see me in real life, I'm like, fuck bitches, right? I'm like, yeah, fuck bitches. Yeah. It's really bad.
So your Instagram, you post memes?
A lot. Every
Why
day.
do I not see this?
It's not on his actual post. Like, it's just
no,
on the story.
not on my post. Like,
not
on my
post,
story.
just a story.
I don't
on
make,
your
no, I do
story.
want to make a meme account. This is kind of defeats the purpose. I want to make an anonymous meme account. I do. But the problem is it's going to be very hard to get married if people see me posting that shit.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Bro.
I can't. There's so much shit I want to post that I can't. Like, there are people that post things that I want to post and I'm jealous. Like, I can't.
Yeah,
I need
but
to get a girl.
you're gonna find a girl that...
No.
You're gonna have to find a girl that's
Who's going to tolerate my bullshit?
Yeah, on your
Tolerate
level.
the memes? I don't know.
So do you limit to what you post? Like,
No, I'm very
nothing political.
No political.
No political, no race, nothing like that.
No, never. It's really just misogynist.
Unless
it's
the
mostly
political
misogynist.
posts are like funny. Like, I saw a meme that says like one man fucks entire Democratic Party. Just a picture of Donald Trump on Pornhub. Like, no, I just started peeing my pants.
Bro,
it's funny.
Yeah.
I'm too scared for
that. The
that.
Hub has some fire memes if you ever like go browsing on.
Yo, by the way,
like,
all this is in it.
Yeah, obviously.
We already started.
Yeah,
That's
started.
okay.
Dude,
I guess I can't get married now.
No, you can get married. But honestly, let's roll with an introduction.
All right.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of College Controversy. We got your boys, Joseph and Simon. Unfortunately, our other co-hosts are a little bit busy at the moment, but you'll see them on the next episode. We are fortunate enough to have two wonderful guests, Alex and Daniel Matatov.
Ooh.
Clap.
Sam Puckett has that thing.
So, yeah, we already started off with the memes. There's a bunch of things I want to speak about, right? Me personally, I want to hear how, I know you two are very into jewelry and shows, and I feel like every single time I speak to Alex, he's always like, oh, I'm going to Atlanta, I'm going to LA, there's always something. So I want to know how did, like, I do understand, like, there's family, like, there's always, like, family connections and stuff like that, but, like, how did you prosper and aspire to make your own business? You know, I know you do vintage watches. And Alex, like, what do you do? And like how, I want to know, I want to like inform myself about the shows, like inform the audience, inform me, because sure. I'm clueless.
So obviously family dynamic helps a lot. There's a lot of things that you have to really think about before you try to get into the jewelry game, because it's not anything really that college can teach you. Like there are certain things that you can take in college to, or whatever university you choose, like to help you in the field that you want to go to. But I mean, like, I've seen people take design, I've seen people take international business, like, to try to understand, like, the market. But first things first, like, when you want to get into the game, you need to understand one thing. School's not going to teach you nothing. Like, you got to get on the street. You got to work hands-on with the people, because when it comes to money and when it comes to, I guess, large amounts of money, like, right now the Rolex industry is booming. It's, like, going... You know,
right?
Rolex,
general,
Patek, AP,
like is like already great.
Watches.
Great
I don't know what
market,
it
right?
is. Like everybody's like
Doesn't mean it's gonna last forever. It's, you know, things come and go. Just
yeah, but like
right now,
you're dealing with
last
like
forever.
thousands of dollars at a time. Like when the Nautilus just came out, the Tiffany and Co. Bro,
Thousands is an understatement, because normally there'd be thousands at a time. Now, like even a Rolex is costing you $75K on the.
You know
low
what's
end,
scary, guys? I'll tell you something scary. The watch market wasn't as this is the most mainstream time. Not just watches, just jewelry, like in general collectibles, like art, wine, cars. Like, it's the hottest it's ever been. Baseball cards, any antiquity, any collectible that you can think of is happening.
Yeah.
People are spending tens of thousands on Pokemon, on Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's
Damn
not
Pokemon.
No, listen.
No, he's not wrong.
No, people are spending.
serious.
I know.
People
I
are
mean,
spending millions of dollars.
Logan Paul.
People are spending hundreds of thousands, and it's getting mainstream. And it's as silly as it is. It sometimes beats the stock market. Sometimes it beats. Of course, there's risk to it. Of course, there's pros and cons to it. Depends how you invest. But it's what's scary? The fact that anyone is familiar with a watch now. Like you go to the grocery store, and if someone just looks at your wrist, it's like, oh, nice Datejust. I'm like, you're a 37-year-old mother, a stay-at-home mother. What business do you know knowing about a Datejust?
Yeah.
Like, this is getting mainstream, so people are getting into watches as as an alternative.
It's gone. Like,
there's a lot of reasons.
I heard a theory.
yeah, obviously,
I heard a
yeah.
theory that because everyone's been locked in through the pandemic, right? Everyone's been looking for a sense of community, right? You can't really go out with your friends. You can't do this. You can't do that.
It's definitely a factor.
By having collectibles, like, it's basic psychology. It's collectibles give people that sense of community, a sense of belonging.
100%.
So I think with anything now, especially as Daniel said, it's becoming insane to buy anything remotely interesting.
I'm doing that myself.
Actually, like, it's not just that. Like, that's a big part, yeah, but I feel like I've spoken to a lot of, like, big CEOs and, like, big people that own really high-end jewelry stores, and they tell me like this. They're like, Alex, do you think these people care when they want to walk in and buy, like, a big Cuban chain? Like, the more ice, the better. You know what I mean? Like, right now, there's so much money being pumped into it that instead of people keeping that money at home or keeping that money in the bank account, they just want to spend it because you don't know what's going to happen with that money soon. Right now, gold is going up, diamonds are going up.
But there's
a combination of a lot of things. There's a combo of inflation. There's too much money in the market. Too much money in the market. It's not that watches are necessarily going up, or yes, cost of materials are going up in Switzerland. Yes, like there is a physical shortage of goods. That's why vintage blew up too. But the thing is, there's too much money in the market. The dollar's weak. So a lot of currencies are getting weak. So it kind of, it's not just, there's a combination. Yes, sense of community. Yes, the dollar is weak. Inflation. Also, here's the thing. In general, with any collectible, from cars to wine to art, it's the fact that it's not being produced anymore. It's basically a physical Bitcoin. It's literally physical Bitcoin if you think about it. There's only so much out in the world. You can't make anymore.
You're saying there's a sense of scarcity.
There is scarcity, 100%.
And people feel it. That's why people are really buying.
And you do feel it. I'm feeling it right now. It's my business. So, like, I feel like just, literally 2 weeks ago, something, let's say 17 grand is now 20 in 2 weeks.
Bro.
Why? Literally in 2 weeks. For no reason. It's the same watch. It didn't even move in the showcase. But why? Because the seller feels like there's not enough in the... It's a lot of it's feeling. A lot. It's not like the stock market. It's not transparent. Same thing with jewelry. And in jewelry, vintage and new, you could make more than watches. It's just like, with watches, it's just so, we don't know how long it's going to last for. We don't know how long.
Can I just say something? Like, there's two different ways that watches go up. Number one is when you have something like the Nautilus that comes out that affected the Rolex directly, and the Rolex
a specific example, the Tiffany OP.
Wait, so why did the Nautilus coming out affect Rolex like a specific,
a very specific example.
A specific
Tiffany,
Rolex or
one
Rolex
specific,
overall?
No, one model specifically.
Okay, what's that specific
Tiffany
model?
and Co. directly partnered up with Patek to release that Nautilus watch.
Okay.
Now, Tiffany did not partner up with Rolex to release that Rolex dial, the Tiffany color turquoise dial.
I see.
So what happened was people are like, I cannot get my hands on the Nautilus because I think the first one was sold for
6.5 million.
6.5 million. Yeah.
Including buyer's premium, which is a big deal. By the way,
$6.5 million, bro. You don't hear that.
Auction house,
was it Jay-Z that bought it?
The buyers usually aren't disclosed.
Well, you could buy like a vintage Ferrari for that price.
You could buy a shitload of
Ferraris
for that price, bro.
No, but I'm saying like another collectible, like Enzo Ferrari's masterpiece, the F40, right? Goes for like 2.1 million at auction.
What are they? One of one? Like very few boutique.
They're
only?
Very few. They're the last supercar. They're the last supercar that Enzo Ferrari, right, the most legendary auto manufacturer designer of all time, came out with. That car would probably go up for like 2 million.
And it's a one of one.
It's not even one of one.
There's,
I think 150, something like that.
Okay.
But for a Nautilus to go for 6 point, you said two.
No, but doesn't mean that's the price. Like things at auction. I used to work at an auction house. It's a very funny business. A lot of funny business goes on there. Like just because this applies for anything, real estate, anything physical, like just because it goes up for auction doesn't mean that's the price. There's a lot, of course, there's psychology behind auction houses. Like there's bidding wars going on. It's like it's really an ego thing when two people are bidding against each other and they realize, 100%. What the hell did I just do? There's a lot going on. I saw it myself. I was behind one of those screens when I see people bidding on something that it's not supposed to be that number, but there's an ego battle going on. There's a lot of factors with like the more expensive, you ever hear the term, I think it's called Googling?
No.
Like for luxury goods.
Is it like buyer's remorse?
Not buyer's remorse. The more expensive an item gets, the more desirable it gets.
I see.
There's a concept called Google, and this applies to anything.
Right.
But this applies to obviously people who can buy it. It's a status.
Right.
It's a social status thing.
So is it like a psychological thing?
A big part. Yeah. The more expensive it gets, the more, usually like supply and demand. The more it goes up, it should less demand. With certain pieces, certain watches, certain cars, certain real estate sometimes, the more expensive, the more buyers. I think it's called Googling. Googling goods.
That's honestly crazy.
It's ridiculous. But there is certain watches, certain products, anything. That's the category. So, I try to do it myself. I try to sneak in little nuggets that I think here's the thing. It's all about feeling. Like, there's no right or wrong. Like, there's so many, and it applies to all categories, diamonds, jewelry, cars. It's like, how do I feel? Like, what do I feel like in 5-10 years people are going to care about? I'm going to stow it away. Does it mean it's a good investment? Not necessarily. Like, I'll wear them personally. Doesn't mean, like, I don't recommend people to invest in watches. I really don't. It's really...
So, okay, in the Rolex industry, something that I picked up on was a lot of people, if they want to get a Rolex watch, they go to authorized Rolex dealer and they want to get a watch. So they come up to him and they're like, hey, how long will it take for me to get a two-tone Wimbledon, for example, And they're going to tell you, well, shit, that's going to take like a year. You got to put your name on the wait list. You got to, So there's some jewelry stores, and a lot of people ask me, Alex, how do these jewelry stores get so many watches? Where do they get it from? So one of the guys I've spoken with told me like this. He's like, look, they come to me, they want to buy earrings, they want to buy crosses. It's Christmas, it's Valentine's, it's Easter, they want to buy something. So I tell them, do me a favor. Whatever you buy from me, go to a Rolex, go to every single Rolex store and put your name on the list. And they're going to make you, to get the watch you want, they're going to make you buy the shitty ones. The ones that you don't want, like a 26mm ladies,
Yeah, they don't need your money, bro. They don't need your money. They have people spending $500,000. They're going to give it to their best clients. They don't need Joe Schmo.
So they say this. They're like, you come to me and you give me that watch. Whatever you pay for, I'll give you $1,000 or $2,000 higher. And what they do after that is once they buy the watch from this customer, the ones that they don't need, they take that one and they flip it for whatever market price it's going for. Like, I had a guy over there in Aruba. He's like, hey, listen, I want to buy a Panda. Mm-hmm. At the time, I think it was like 2 months ago. He's like, I want to buy a Panda. I'm like, okay, no problem. I look for the market price and I see everybody selling it for like $38,000. Brand new 2021. I'm like, okay, $38,000. I'm going to try to find it for cheaper. He's like, I want to pay $37,000. I'm like, I don't know how. Like, I'm getting it for like $37,600, $37,500. Like, I can't. I'm not really making money on it. I found an opportunity where the guy wants to sell it to me for $36,000, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to make the customer happy. I'm going to make myself happy. Then he comes to me like a week later. He's like, any Panda you get in your hand, I want it. I don't care. Like, I'll pay a little bit more, but I want it. The guy bought 4 Pandas off the bat.
Wow. Okay.
Next thing you know, I look at my phone yesterday. That Panda is $49,000.
Wild.
It doesn't mean he lost money.
It doesn't, bro. Yeah. This guy, I don't know what he was planning. He could have held it and just had it for a month, 1 month.
A lot of people speculate.
$49,000. Listen,
it doesn't mean that's normal. It doesn't mean it's keep going up and up.
It also goes the other way around. My brother, what happened was when the Tiffany started going up, the price jumped from a 41mm, $17,000, brand new box paper, 17, jumped to the highest I've seen it go for on Chrono 24 was $50,000. Just like that.
By the way, guys, there's a lot of funny business behind the scenes that we see it. Yeah. We just there are things that you're not supposed to really talk about. Like in general, like I came out at a watch show a few weeks ago. There's also a lot of funny business that goes on there. Mm-hmm. It's very private. It's very people are really closed about it. There's a lot of YouTube channels that are exposing or showing like what's going on, and a lot of dealers don't like it. The fact that I'm even talking about it right now.
So is there anything you could say, like
certain things, like funny business, like if a regular person hears like what the hell, like because it messes with a regular customer. It depends. It's like I'm trying to think of an example.
Or it's been that way because
no, it's always been. It's always been.
I've had family members like
always
son of an immigrant, right?
Just
what do
things you don't
immigrants
talk
go?
about.
They go into jewelry. Like the way it was described to me is like
jewelry's even worse.
Jewelry
is so much more funny.
Diamond dealing was basically, as I've heard it explained to me, it was like Colombia in the 80s. You know, it was literally like
it's a different time. Yeah,
it's drug dealing basically.
It's a different time.
It's all cash business done for like a limited supply of goods. You know, so
thing is, like, yeah, of course it's more regulated now. Like watch market's not necessarily regulated, but there is a lot going on that we don't see. Like, we have a friend that we just spoke to today. I just got to literally. I can't even the guy that you got off the phone with like half an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like he's just he's telling me the shit that he does,
bro.
to not necessarily bribe, not necessarily bribe people at ADs. It's like people talk about this is fine. This is fine to say. Like this, you're not really supposed to do this, but you can. There are ADs, there are representatives. Like
what's an AD?
Authorized dealership.
Oh,
let's say you go to Rolex. It's
Yeah.
like, I want a Daytona. And they're going to laugh at you, get out. Like, who are you? So there are guys, there are a lot of Bukharians.
Wait 4 years.
There's a lot of Bukharians that come in and try to, they try to do something.
It's always the Bukharians.
Always the Bukharians. They take you out to dinner. Listen, and you can't blame them. They take you out to dinner. They send you a bottle, to these people.
Not just any dinner. They'll take you to a restaurant.
Yeah, they're spending, their people will spend thousands of dollars on these people so they can allocate them a watch at retail. So it doesn't, and there's worse. There's a lot worse. And it's not really company policy for these people to do it, but it happens. And some dealers get cracked down. Some ADs even close because of this funny business. Licenses get revoked. There's a lot of because there's a lot that goes on. And if let's say, for example, I mention this guy's name, and let's say the wrong person hears that name, I can hurt his whole business because of it's not supposed to be going on.
Also his credibility.
It's not supposed to be going on.
No, how you just said there's a bunch of factors that go in with the pricing of the watches and stuff like that. So you know how they say in 2 years from now, hopefully car prices, for example, are gonna go back to normal. Like, bro, a 3 Series BMW is going for $700 now, right?
It's a different time.
2 years ago it was $300. So do you think the watches, just like how you said Rolex,
they'll calm down. It's gonna correct. Let's say used car prices, housing, it's going to correct. Listen, it has to. It will. It can't sustain.
But I'm always hearing different.
Yeah, people with money, they have no reason not to sit on. Or the way I understand it is not to sit on any collectible, right? Whether it's watches or cars.
They don't need to move it.
Yeah, they don't need to move it because they know that the price is going to go up.
I'm not referring to let's say uber wealthy people, to the mainstream. Someone who has 10 grand to spend on a Rolex, and that's most people in the world. Not. So I'm saying everyone has 10 grand. I'm saying the average consumer.
I mean, now everyone has 10 grand because of all that unemployment money. So
it's gonna correct with everything. There's too much money in the market.
So you know how 5 years ago, I feel I don't know anything about watches, but let's just say, for example,
but it's the same thing that applies to cars with used car prices.
Okay,
it's the prices.
Okay,
it's the same thing.
So
of course, maybe a physical chip shortage, but there's other factors.
So are there trends in what sells or what is popular and what's that's riffraff?
100%.
Yeah.
But it's always going to cycle around. You never know what's going to be the next thing.
You have to be tuned.
Right
you have to understand what's going. Yeah.
Okay, I have some customers that deal with the rich white people in rich white areas. You know what I mean? And those people aren't really buying iced out watches.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a couple months ago, iced out watches was booming in every single area. It doesn't matter where. People wanted a chain. People wanted a watch. People wanted something iced out. Just to have. So now nobody's really asking for that stuff. People just want the plain watches because plain watches are going up. Why do they need to worry about the diamond value in an iced out watch?
Right.
But
I heard actually getting diamonds in your watch actually decreases the value.
Sometimes. A lot of the time.
Most of the time.
A lot of the time. So you have to be very careful.
The value of the watch, yeah, but the value of the diamonds...
No.
Simon, are you talking about bezel or in the face?
No, everything. It could be
in the face.
I wouldn't know.
You can hurt the watch, 100%. Because you can't undo the damage. So when you do it, when people try to do it, everyone's like, yo, should I bust it down and sell it from where? I'm like, no. Make sure you have a client in line before you sell it. Why do that in front? It's a risk. It's too risky.
It's
also just destroyed that watch.
It's your personal taste, right?
It is personal taste.
Someone
whoever does that, they're not necessarily doing it for investment.
They're doing it for themselves.
For them.
My mentor taught me that there's always a client for everything. So even if you do bust it down first and you're like, I know this is going to sell. Like,
you gotta be confident though. You have to know your consumer.
Yeah, like, okay, I'll give you just an example. I brought it up earlier, but my brother, he bought the Tiffany for the new price. He bought it for around $33,500. He paid. And the watch was already in the 40s. And people didn't want to pay $40 because the watch was going up, but, like, they didn't believe that it was going to stay up. And it started dropping and dropping and dropping, and now the watch is $30,000. My brother's like, there is no way I'm going to lose $3,500 right now. You know, like, I'm not losing $3,500 for this speculation. So thank God he found the customer, because I'm like, listen, Nate, like, there's always a customer for everything. You know what I mean? You can figure that out. And he sold it. And
by the way, it's all speculation. Like, just because, like, people are figuring it out as we go. I'm figuring it out as I go. I don't know everything. I know 1% or less of the whole watch market. There's so much going on.
He knows more than me, though.
There's a lot of it.
I know less than 1%.
Really? There's like, and I've been doing it 3 years. I would say less than 1%. There's too much going on. A lot.
So picking back onto that, like, how did you, your Daniel's vintage watch?
Yeah.
How did you, like, where did that come up from?
COVID ironically boomed, like, it just boosted it up. There's a demand for physical things. So I remember, like, first few months of COVID, I was making nothing. Literally, I was making less than an internship. I was at an internship at the time. I left that. Someone got sick in the office, thankfully. Ironically, it helped. No, seriously, thankfully, like, it picked up to the point where I can do it full time. I can afford to. And I realized there was no one really doing it, like, what my category, like, at scale. It's very hard to scale what I was doing at the time. Now I'm just trying to build that reputation of, like, oh, you're that kid, and to be taken seriously, and to now I'm trying to become, like, brandable. You know, there's a difference between just buying and selling a watch and becoming a company.
So are your prices fluctuating, like, just how Rolexes are? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, let's say what I pay for product now is, like, what I used to sell for a year ago. Like, things are changing. There's no factory that I could just buy a vintage watch for $1,000, mark it up to $5,000. It's a lot of, you know, I pay strong too. I have to. Like, I have to keep up with, like, everyone else.
Are you planning on backing up off of Simon's question? Don't you think you have the ability to, like, influence the market in some way? Because you have a substantial following. So you could say,
it's funny
this watch is hot, and then, like,
it's funny you mention it. When you search me up online on most seller platforms, I'm like half of the page. It's because of certain keywords. You have to know what people search. I try to manipulate a little bit, and it works. It's bad that I'm saying it. And it's bad that I'm saying it, because
you have nice taste. I've seen some of the stuff that you put up.
I can corner it a little bit, because with vintage, there's not a lot. There's not as much. So if let's say there's 50 of a certain piece and I have 10, there's a little bit of I can manipulate it a little bit, and I do. But to a certain extent, I can only get away with so much. And I'm considered a little bit more expensive than everyone, but there's a premium. I don't want to sound like an ass, but there's going to be a little cost to, let's say, consulting with me. I have to spend time with you, you know.
Plus, you do retail, so.
And it's retail. Like, for example.
Retail.
Like, I'll give you an example. Like, it's a funny example of, like, Andrew Schultz. I was shitting on my toilet when he called me. Listen to this. It's so stupid.
Why didn't you tell Simon, like, actually what happened?
So you know Andrew Schultz.
Do you know who that is?
He's just a comedian.
We were speaking about
it. He's a huge comedian now.
Okay.
Like, he has like 3 podcasts. He's all over the world.
He blew up. Yeah. He became mainstream. I remember my phone number's online, so I get so many phone calls. I don't know what to entertain.
I love this story.
Oh my God.
I have the best story.
Here's the problem.
I can already think about what happened.
Here's the problem. I have to entertain every phone call, and most of the time it doesn't go anywhere. It's just, you know, it's
just like,
it just leads to nowhere. So I'm in the bathroom. I get a phone call. He's like, "Hey, I want to see a watch tomorrow at 10 a.m." He's like, "Sorry, dude, I can't." He's like, do you follow comedy? It's like, I guess, but, like, what does that have to do with
follow what?
Comedy.
Oh,
comedy. I'm like, okay. I get, and my pants are off. Like, bro, I'm wiping my ass, bro. And he's like, I guess, sure, but what does that have to do with it? And he's like, I'm Andrew Schultz. I'm like, I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I'm like, I don't have a choice. I had to stop. I had to, like, stop at I had to come. I had to show up. I came in early, showed him what he wanted. And me being his bitch was an understatement, bro. I was literally, I hope he hears this. I was literally, I'm going to forward this to him after. I was literally his bitch for like a week. And that's an understatement, but I would only do it for someone. It's not even good to say, but I'll be honest, you know? And if he does hear it, it'll be funny too.
I was his assistant.
So
I was his assistant
to the bitch.
Well, if you're gonna be a bitch for someone, right, it might as well be someone who has like a fashion presence, right? The guy, like,
everything.
Yeah. This wasn't even the biggest.
He's a great guy. He's a really nice guy.
This was not even the biggest person that Danny has
sold something to. It's not like I met the guy. It's small.
Still,
but it's okay.
You sold it was still something.
No.
Alright, so explain what you sold to Schultz and Infinity.
I won't say like specifically. I won't say specifically, but I'll say like he was getting married. He got like his whole team watches. So like, and I got to see that some of them.
That's beautiful.
And they get to pick.
Nice people, honestly, really nice people.
They're nice people
and funny.
Here's the thing. This is where like, and I remember what I told you about like customer experience.
Yeah.
It's like you have to make them feel comfortable and
wanted.
Right.
No, it's just like not because he's Andrew Schultz. It's just like for every customer that you talk to, it's like you have to spend time with them and make them feel comfortable and confident in their decision making.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, who has time for that? Like, imagine doing that at scale. It's very hard. And we spoke about it. I'm like, you said, I'm like, who has time for that? And he's 100% right. Alex is 100% right with like, you can't make time for everyone. I can't. It's hard. But let's say someone like high profile, you make time. You'll run around, and he made me run around, and I will, and I'll do more. If I have to kiss his feet, I will. Like, but it makes sense like for those types of people because I never know where it goes. It's just a social circle. The amount of people that I met. That's what I like about like what I do. Not just the product. It's just like I met more interesting people. I met. Like, besides going to school, like, college is great and all, just to piggyback off the college thing.
Yeah.
I would go back to school, but just to see the friends that I made. Not necessarily, I don't remember anything, of course. I don't know if you guys remember anything from school, but it's the friends. It's the social circle. It's a big deal. So, it's really just the people.
Wait,
the
you have to talk about the day we went fishing. So this is the first time Danny has ever spoken to some sort of celebrity. And the first one hit, like, crazy home run. Okay, this day was not planned. We happened to go, like, fishing with a group of people. And this is the first time we ever, I think, as a family we went fishing.
Yeah, it was
I don't
weird.
know.
So
it was funny. He almost threw up, like, 9 times. And then, like, on the way home, he gets a DM from a celebrity, and it's not just any celebrity. It's a celebrity that
I don't know if I'm even. He's not going to hear this.
I mean,
you think so?
I don't know.
I'm going to send it to him.
It's not just any celebrity. It's just a celebrity.
Don't name names.
Yeah, I won't. Give
the tier of like celebrity, double A, like single A.
No, like top notch, like 65 million followers.
Okay, fine. So.
This is a celebrity that I've been obsessed with their music for a very long time already. Like,
and I couldn't care less.
And he doesn't give a shit.
Problem.
Like,
male or female?
Male.
The problem is, I wish I did care. It's good. I'm not going to mention his name. I wish I did care about his music. I wish I did. Like,
you said you're going to forward it to him. So.
I will. But like, if Drake reached me out for a watch, he will never. But like, if he did, like. I'm gonna be your bitch forever.
Yeah,
I will do anything you ask for, bro. So,
yeah, fishing.
Yeah, so we went fishing, and I went home with my friend, and he went in a different car.
Random DM. I thought it was fake.
I thought it was fake. He's like, you'll never guess who DM'd me, and I'm like,
and I had to send it to him because he's obsessed.
Yeah, so I had to pull over and I had to read, and my friend's like, "Come on, like you have to take me home. Why are you just stopping?" I'm like, "Shh, this is important." Like, so
it's too bad we never. I tried to see him in person.
I told him so he's like, I'm selling a watch to the celebrity. I'm like, what watch is it? He's like, can I say what the watch is called?
It doesn't even matter. The fact that he wants that, he has no business. He could buy whatever he wants, and he wants something little, like something small. I'm like,
so he's
you
like
are this guy.
I really want to know who the celebrity is.
No, you can't.
Well, it's probably
we'll tell you after.
People have taste. There's
he does have taste. He explained me his taste, and like, I get it.
The way he explained the taste.
No, and I showed him like the text. I'm like,
the way he texts is so weird.
He wouldn't think you like. You know how like you think of like Drake, like how would he be in like
in person,
or how he talks?
How would Drake be,
brother?
So like when I'm texting this guy. It's not. It's like talking to a high schooler.
Yeah,
it's like
that's the last time.
He sounds like a hippie. Like
no,
he sounds like one of those guys that feels his food before he like eats it. You know what I mean?
It's like you would never think like you're this guy, but you're like talking like this.
Well, most of these guys dropped out of like high school or the last time they had like a formal education. That's what I don't understand. About
so what is a celebrity buying a watch you have to do with fishing?
This is just the day it happened. I remember it so vividly.
He just wants to mention.
And then we were in the office, and he was like sitting in the room having all these FedEx boxes, and I'm like, okay, which is the watch that he's like, I'm about to send it out right now.
You're weirdo.
I'm like, okay, I'm like,
do you want to sniff it, spit on it?
No. I'm like, I need to try on this watch.
No, he wants to get it so personal.
This is the watch that this celebrity is going to be wearing.
Technically,
he
has physical contact. He has physical contact.
Alex, you should have written like a small little note in
put
like,
it in the box.
I told him, I'm like, can I? He's like,
hey,
no.
such and such.
He's like, he's going to block me. I don't want him to.
That's so.
But here's the pro. Like
wearing
the pro
is
you never know.
Yeah.
Like, and this could be applied to anything. You just never know. That's what I like about it. I do get tired of it.
Yeah. Oh, and the celebrity followed him after.
So this is what I like about it.
Does he still follow you?
Yeah. But you just just never know who you're gonna meet. It's nice. It's fun because it increases your social circle. Like this can lead. Like I meet much more interesting people that are much more well off than me. It's nice. Yeah. Like I don't know if I do it forever, but it's a nice thing for now. It's a good thing for now.
Like this is his like full-time thing. This is his hobby. This is his passion. This is like everything. You know what I mean?
It really sounds like an exciting like business to be running. You know,
it's fun. But the thing is, everyone thinks it's like I get it all the time. Like people want help, and I love that. But there's a difference. Like people see it as like sexy. You ever hear like a sexy industry?
Right.
It's also very dirty. It's just like it's a lot of like grime behind it. There's a lot of shit that like no one wants to do, and I'll still be stuck with it. But yeah, I can see why someone thinks it's sexy. But there is just because it looks good, like through pictures, like people think it's just like you just post watches and it's just you sell it.
Up. No, that's not how it is.
There's a lot of hassle. It's a lot of like back and forth and dealing with a lot of step A, step B, step C. It's fun. It's like with it's a job. At the end of the day, it is a job, and
because he does retail,
short, right? Because anything is gonna look good when there's a passion behind it, right? Like you make it look good. It's not that it looks good by itself. That is on like a different level of with any industry. But if you meet someone with like a good passion behind something, I think that's what makes a certain job or a certain like hobby attractive to other people. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and like when people see like. Let's say a kid, so many people's like, you're too young to be doing this. Because a lot of people, like, do what I do. They're at least twice my age. You need more experience. Usually you need a lot more experience.
You got something on your face. Hold on. It's like giving me, it's bothering me.
Usually.
I have OCD. I can't do it. Like, I can't sit here and look at you. Like.
Usually you need a lot more experience. And everyone's like, you're a kid. I remember going to, like, shows. He's like, what are you doing here? Go to college. Like, no, seriously. He's like, what are you doing here? I was like 19. I would skip Baruch, go to class, go to these shows. And like, why are you here? He's like, this is more fun.
Yeah, I have clients that tell me the same thing. They're like, why didn't you finish school? So I'm like, it's whatever works, honestly. Like,
what type of people are telling you this? Like young people or
older
immigrants?
Older people do encourage like what we're doing because not a lot of young people are doing it. They want younger people doing it.
People that are successful that don't want their kids to be in the same business as them. Those are the people that really.
I would say like
tell me at least.
Well, maybe listen. We do different things.
Yeah, we do completely
we're a little different. So,
Alex, Daniel does vintage watches. Do you do just watches?
I do higher end watches, and I ice out watches, and I do everything iced out, like more into the men's line, I guess.
Yeah, no, that was just for clarification. But continue. So you said that it's normally older.
You know, surprisingly, it's very welcoming. Like it's a very primitive business. Like it's literally imagine like millions of dollars in cash in a duffel bag, trading, like buying and selling watches. Some people might give me shit for even talking about it. But it's like it's nice to see. It's fun, like millions of dollars in merchandise, like laid out like a bazaar.
But like
fruit.
We even
literally it's a fruit stand.
We even have two different methods of making sales or meeting other people and clientele. Like his method is more through the phone or people that are local, and then my method is like I have to travel, fly there, meet you. Like that's what I do.
Right. So
because I'm the kind of guy like my whole life, like. Even my hobbies. I organize events on the side, and I do a really great job at it, thank God, with a whole team and everything.
Well,
I appreciate it.
We really appreciate having you guys on. This was a very, very interesting discussion.
We had a lot of fun.
We really felt the energy in the studio today.
For sure. I think we need to dedicate a whole. I think you have to dedicate a whole podcast
to Andrew shows.
Oh. No.
To me, we have so much we can talk
forever.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like we're gonna have to have you back.
Yeah, honestly.
I did not realize you guys can just go on and on.
No, we're very like
we just talk too much, bro. I talk too much.
There was one time where we were at a bar in Vegas not too long ago, -5 degrees. It's cold. We just went out. We put on jackets. And we just started talking to random people. The bartender, like everything's made out of the ice, and like we made jokes like the bartender's made out of ice. Like it was just so funny. We just kept going on and on. But
yeah, guys, listen again. Thank you so much for coming. It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
To all our watchers, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to see next, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Yes, sir.
See you guys.
You never be wild. You never be wild. You can stand on a bed.